franchisees to help market fund. All right. At the moment, the marketing fund is at negative $8,760. So the reason it's managed to get to negative is we've got a couple of people that aren't paying at the moment. They've skipped it or whatever reason it's happened.
Excuse us, Jacob. Just on the marketing fund, I'm still not receiving invoices for them on a monthly basis. I don't know if other people are having the same problem, but that could be one of the issues you're having.
Yeah, I had that issue a few months ago. That I wasn't receiving any, but I'm receiving them now. I think it's because they come from zero now. I don't think they come.
I'm still not receiving them, even though I did bring it up a couple of months ago as well.
All right.
Sky, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Can you just make note of that, please? Can we go over all of that? All right, so that 8,700 that we're behind is what actually I've got to chip in. So the account doesn't look good. For those that have been paying, obviously that's great. Mark will sort your part out and see why you're not included in that on that list. All right, so some of the comments we've had over it is basically that we would like to look at sponsorship included. Another thing that we wanted to include was forecasting was a website. And what we've been paying out of that is stuff like just brochures that you've received, bits and pieces. So going forward, we're looking at about 55 grand will be wages. So, it leaves us about $29,000 to divvy up. Out of that 29, let's start with sponsorship. The guys that we're looking to back seem to be pretty cheap. Do we want to allocate $2.5 grand to them? We're just going to work rough figures here, so just yes, no, maybe. You can see some nods, so I'm just going to go yes.
Who are they, Jacob?
There's one as a Burns. So I was only going to do one this year because, $2.5 grand won't go far, especially with them. So they do a camp once a year and they're looking for someone to sponsor the camp. They've invited us to their camp, so that's pretty good. The other one was Rural Funds, but Rural Funds is a pretty big organisation backing farmers. So I think as we get bigger, we might add that one. So I think, does everyone agree we just do the one for now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And obviously we want to do the Burns one, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So one other thing that has been hasn't been sort of worked out properly, but you know how we've sent out all your ID and location signs logoed?
Yeah.
Yes. So the reason FlameStop wanted us to stock them is because they didn't want to hold on to that material. We are going to market in the next 2 weeks to renegotiate with suppliers to see if we can get better rates with extinguishers. However, that being said, FlameStop are about the only ones that seem to offer those signs, so we'll probably have to stick with them. So some of the options FlameStop's put forward is that they basically ban anyone from being able to buy those location signs, so that way we use the marketing ones, or they're now willing to stock them. So they'll hold X amount of stock in each warehouse. That's going to come at an additional price because obviously space is, money to them. So do we want to include that as part of the marketing fund? Or yes?
What's the cost? What's the cost?
It's going to go on size, unfortunately. And that's a very good question, Simon. So everyone's going to be different. what we got to try and do is divvy it up as fairly as possible, because like someone that has a great run with say location signs, they're going to end up with more than somebody that doesn't. So do we allocate?
What's the alternative?
What's the alternative? Is we pay more with FlameStop. Another option might be that because I think it cost us $3,500 for all of those signs last time, the whole lot. Yeah. So we just buy the whole lot, divvy them up again, and then just shoot them out to everyone, and you use them as you see fit. And then when you run out, you just grab more. Does that seem?
I think it's a better idea.
That sounds better.
I think either way it could cost us more, because if we're getting them sent down from the support office, we're going to have additional courier costs on that.
So what the plan is just to send one bulk lot. We don't intend to send them individually, like whenever you need.
Yeah, I wasn't there like individually, yeah, but I think either way probably could end up costing around the same whether FlameStop's holding them or support office. Once you put shipping costs to it.
So,
Depends what the figures
yeah,
are.
because they've got to bring them in as well. Because we're buying them direct from China through them, so we're actually paying freight. There's no special deal on that because it's to us only.
Yeah, so it might work out. Support office might be worth a go. Buy it in bulk.
All right. What we can do is we can ask the figures and then work it out. I know FlameStop weren't terribly keen on it, so I'd say the price won't be too fair.
Fair enough.
Especially if they lose the extinguishers, they won't be happy.
Yep.
Calculator so I can keep tab on where we're at here. So we got an option here with the website. So the quotes we've received for this one to be built was about $18,000. We managed to get it down to about $9,000, but it's got ongoing costs, which will bump it back up to that 18 by the time the 3 years is done. So whichever option we go for is still going to cost that money. So the option is, do we budget for it now and sort of chip away at it, or do we go ahead and go, right, let's skip a year and then for the next 2 years we'll just go harder at it?
Just chip away at it, Jacob.
Yeah, I'd prefer to chip away at it as well. That way it's not, next year we might have some good deal pop up, and because we've put ourselves in that position, it probably won't work out. So it's $500 a month.
Where's that coming out of? Out of the marketing fund?
Yeah. So previously I've been paying for it. As you all know, I got absolutely rorted with websites this financial year, and we've forked out a bucket load. Later on, I want to talk about websites as well in the group meetings. It'll take us a little while to get to it, but when we get to that, I don't want to keep going ahead and paying for the main site, because the main site's what everybody uses. What I'd rather do is use the money that I have been using for websites and build other websites that then feed that site as well. So it's, we're all one team, so we all need to chip into it. Does that sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Hang on, I've worked that out. Sorry, just keep up. Just try and keep up.
He's trying to use his calculator.
Don't get to use one so often. All right. Nearly there. So there's 17 grand left at the moment. Right, so out of that, last month we were all talking about customer experience. So I don't have any pricing on this yet because I don't know which way we want to go. However, one thing that Lee and Leah were doing, we're providing a like a spray bottle to clean your computer lenses. What we talked about was just adding that extra edge over our competitors. And I can't remember the cost. Do you remember the cost, Leah, what it cost you guys per one?
No, I'd have to speak to Lee about that. I'm not sure, Jacob, actually.
I got a funny feeling, and like, I don't know if I'm wrong here, but I think it was like 13 cents each or 6 cents each. It was something ridiculously cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at saying, well, let's get X amount of those and then, you know, work out how many we get. So do we want to look at that option and try to include that?
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. I'll try and work out off 13 cents. I'm sure it was cheaper than that. But we do want them branded, obviously.
We just put stickers on them. Yeah.
Yeah, if we can get them branded, it just saves people having to do that extra exercise. So that gets like nearly 40,000 of them off. You know, by the time you probably add labelling, probably 35,000. So that's like nearly 2,300 each. So that's probably a little bit too much. So we can probably drop that a bit. So if we say we allocate 2.5 grand to that, just roughly, does everyone agree?
Yeah.
If you don't, just let us know. Like, it's everybody's decision. So let's just throw it up there.
How are they getting distributed?
So we'll have to buy direct from China to get those pricing because I believe that's how Lee did it. And then basically once they're here, we just package them up and shoot them off to you.
Oh, so we distribute them.
Yeah, so it's just when you go to a client, you know, give them something over the counter if you want to keep them. You could also use them for when you're cold calling and that sort of thing. It's up to you how you want to use them. A few people have got their mics muted, so if you've got your mic muted and you're trying to say something and we're not listening, we just can't hear you. All right? So what's everybody's thoughts on that? Yes?
Sounds reasonable.
Yep.
Reasonable. All right, so that pretty much leaves us like 14.5. Was there anything else that anyone else wanted to come up with? Because 14.5, you'd probably spend 1,000 on Google AdWords each. It's up to you. Was there any other ideas anyone had? I do try and zero the account out each year, even though like there's, you know, the marketing fund's pretty loose in the code of conduct. I do prefer to zero it out each year because that way it's, you know, a clean start to the next year.
Well, Jacob, what about your landing pages that you want to do? Can it be used for that?
Yeah, there is something I want to talk about later. I have got those quoted, and that's going to cost about 4 grand to do. I want to go into it now because I need everybody's thought pattern to be the same as we go through the process.
Yep.
So do we want to, we'll say that we'll leave that as 4K as other landing pages. And then we'll just leave a buffer of around 10K. And as we go through the year, if there's something that pops up, because just remember, as those other guys jump on, you should actually see that increase as well. So by the time we, you know, if we don't do anything for the year with that buffer, by the time we get to it, it should be 15 or 16K. and then basically we can say, right, let's empty it out into Google AdWords for the last couple of months. Does that sound fair to everyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've pretty much covered it. So, is everyone happy with that? What we'll do is once we've got it all written out properly, what we'll do is the same as last year. I'll give you guys a breakdown of the marketing fund again. And then what we'll do is we'll add this to it at the end, so the forecasted budget. That way you can have a look at that as well. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's probably that part of it. So, Sky, if you want to jump in and do your section.
Yep. So marketing we have in motion this week, which are things we do week to week as well to generate business. And mail campaigns. So this week we'll be targeting a whole bunch of fresh new leads. So we've got about 12,600 leads that we're generating. We're going to be targeting printing industries, welding industries, and auto retail wholesale industries just this week only. We do incorporate every single FCF location when we're generating these new fresh leads. We design a really good email campaign for these leads that are going to be based around obviously the printing industries, welding industries, and auto retail. So it makes them makes them really want to see our emails, I guess, click to our blog articles and then be lured to our website. So we've got the marketing team basically generating those 12,600 new potential leads. We do obviously contact existing customers and also leads that are just in our database but still haven't signed on with us. So we're growing our lead database, which is really good. Now our national lead targets, we've also got Angela at the moment generating 2,000 new national client leads. So we'll also be doing an email campaign for them as well. Blogs, we do draft new blogs every week. So again, we try to draft them around what industries we are targeting because we want to have, I guess, credible information to be able to mail campaign out to these leads. So, and also lure them to the website as well. So I've got the team doing, I guess, some fire articles, training articles based around the printing, welding, and auto retail wholesale industries. Again, these industries are just the ones we're contacting this week. I change it every week. So I basically decide whether we're going to be doing, a national campaign as well as what industries we're going to be targeting in each FCF location. Because we do like to incorporate, obviously, everyone's location so everyone can get some leads that are going to click through to the website. Now, I don't know whether I think you guys have been seeing those lead click and open reports that I've been sending to you. So again, those are the leads that are basically clicked through to our website through our mail campaign. So they're very, I guess, what you call warm leads to contact or call because you know that they've definitely 100% been on our website. So which is good. So, all right. Google Ads. So we want to be able to reach customers who are actually actively looking for our services now, not just introducing our services to people who are using, other fire safety companies at the moment. So we do have 2 campaigns being launched this week alone on Google Ads, which is going to be directed towards business to business and business to consumer. Again, we're going to be incorporating all FCF locations in those Google Ads. Reporting will be available on the franchisee files and also send you guys one individually as well so you can see who's clicked in your location and things like that. So social media. So I have designed a few graphic design artworks for social media. Now, I don't know whether you guys need any kind of graphic design. I just want to, I guess, offer myself to you because I can do them up very quickly and it'll probably save you money if you are outsourcing or doing something else for any kind of graphic design. So do come to me first if you can. I can have something done pretty quickly for you. So we've got a few graphic design artworks, a few deals that we've been working on with Jacob. We're just getting a few things approved, just the last little touch-ups, and then we're going to be doing a few social media lead targets. So again, business to business and business to consumer. We're targeting those all FCF locations as well. So We found the last campaign actually did pretty good, which was surprising. Like it had over 2,000 views within a couple of days and had over 50 clicks to the website. So I was pretty impressed. That was my little test campaign that I did. So I do think it's worth, doing some more of those. Finalising that CAF promotional. So obviously we're doing that collaboration with a few cafes around Australia. We're going to be having our branding printed on their coffee distribution cups. So everything that goes out to their customers, we're going to be having our advertisement basically on them, which is awesome. So we're going to be collaborating with them. Now with the blog articles, I just like to explain SEO a little bit more. So every time we create a blog article, we can do SEO marketing, which stands for search engine optimism. So basically, when we create a new blog article, all those keywords within that blog article, all those links, we can start pretty much making sure all the search engines are picking them up. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, all the primary search results and all web pages. That's why it's really important to keep up generating new blogs and making new content, because basically we can use those SEO searches to draw people into our website just from a few keywords that might be in our blog. A few other things in the works coming up is our bait articles. So I don't know whether you guys have been on Facebook or been on the web and you see a news article about a fire or something happening in Brisbane. We've been getting our advertisements on those actual bait articles. So we call them bait articles because it's basically baiting people to read the articles, because people are obviously interested in the news. And they'll click onto that article, they'll read it, and our advertisement will be among the article. As you've seen in articles that you read, there's always like an advertisement or something there. So I've been working with a few pages and groups that do up these articles and have those platforms, and it actually doesn't cost us any money. If I do up an interesting article that's relevant, they'll actually take it and use it on their page. So it's kind of like a sponsorship in a way, but they do all the marketing on their end, which is very useful because obviously all their audience is going to click and share and do all those things. As long as I've created some good content, they're happy to use it. So yeah. Now I didn't know whether you guys had any questions or any suggestions, but like Jacob said, we're going to be looking at some new sponsorships, which is good. And but this is basically what we do on a week to week. So we generate new leads. We always send out multiple mail campaigns that are targeted for each FCF location. Always doing new blog articles. Google Ads I've obviously just started doing that over the last couple of months, and social we've just started to get into, but I think it's working well. So yeah. Any questions or suggestions?
Sky, just on the email campaigns, should we be receiving those emails as well, just so we know what the clients or leads are seeing?
Absolutely. So when I now send those leads that have clicked or opened to your website, I'm more than happy. I'll send you the templates now so you can see exactly what blog they've clicked. I can even tell you what specifically they've clicked in the campaign, because there might be a few things there. There might be a training recommendation among the email as well. So I can say, yep, they've clicked to this, and this is, I'm more than happy to do that. So I'll put that note down now to when I send you those leads. I'll also send you a copy of the mail campaign that went out with those leads.
Cheers.
Hey, Sky, just with the leads, I noticed some of the leads that you sent through a couple of weeks ago, there were a lot of the old leads that got sent about 6 months ago. So it was the same clients that were being targeted. Is there any fresh sort of like leads that we're getting in that area? Because I noticed they're all the same, and I've already tried a couple of them and they're not interested.
Yeah, so I did notice that with Angela when I seen those leads that she was generating, and that's why I said we're creating. So this week we're creating 12,600 new leads that have never been in our database. We've never contacted them before, and if we had, it would have been years ago, but they're definitely not in our database now. So because I did notice that when I look through the entire database that we do have, there is a few in there that I have been basically smashing over the last couple of months. So I said to Angela, we need to basically be generating fresh new leads every single week as well, to basically build our database and not just utilize our database, if that makes sense.
Yep, no worries. Thanks.
We do want to keep those old leads as well, because obviously we want to try and get across to those, and when they get to their pain point, then they finally call us. Oh, all right. Chloe?
Hi, everyone. So I've been sending out some national intro emails this week. The first one was sent through by Mark from Southwest Sydney. It was House with No Steps. It's a disability support service across New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria and ACT. I will follow them up with a phone call later on this week. I've also got a lead from Jacob, Regional Australia Bank. I've sent them an email as well, and I'll follow them up again later on this week as well. Next one was sent through from Michael from South East Sydney.
8 o'clock.
I missed that. Yep. The Metro service stations. I believe we may have tried to contact these guys before, but they've got 200 servos across Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria. I've sent them through the intro email and I'll follow them up again later this week with a phone call. Store Local, which is a storage site. They're actually national. We service their site in Airlie Beach using our subcontractor that we've got up there. They've got 18 sites across Queensland, WA, New South Wales, South Australia and Victoria. Luke's actually on site yesterday and the area manager was there yesterday as well. So hopefully we can get in good with them and I'll follow him up this week as well. Algas, we previously sent through some pricing for their national work. I made contact with Melissa Friday, I believe it was. They're actually still finalising the shortlist and they're going to advise when it's been completed and put together and let us know. The Kathmandu sites, I followed those guys up with a phone call as well. The pricing's been submitted to the client because Mick is a service provider as well that looks after all of the sites. So I'll have to follow those ones up again and see how they're going, if we get a response from the client. The Banzel group, previously sent them an email a little while ago. I've shot them through a follow-up email and I'll be following them up with a phone call as well. And H&K International, which was originally sent through by Mark from Southwest Sydney. I've sent them a follow-up email as well and we'll be following them up with a phone call as well.
All right, thanks, Chloe. All right, while we're on national clients, I went and did some homework on national clients after a couple of comments after the last meetings. All right, what we're hitting as a pain point is there is not one national client we have that we are delivering service on time. So it's not surprising we're not being paid on time. I wouldn't pay if I don't have the paperwork, and that's what they're doing. So you'll all have a look at it. You'll see that what we've requested is that national work is done in the first 2 weeks. It gets Chloe a chance to process the work. It gets them a chance, like a week, to actually get the stuff done and then shot out. So we sit in that month. I understand some months with United that we won't. However, at the moment, like, we're not getting booking dates until 2-3 weeks in the month. Like, by the time it's getting done, we've blown our chance to even get paid at a shot on time. So it's not everybody, but we all need to make sure that we understand that, you know, everybody's relying on this money is for the cash flow. So can we just focus a little bit more on national clients? Because as we get bigger in that department, the problem is we're only going to drag our heels and get worse. So if we can't do what we've got now, or with what we've got now, it will just get worse. So can we start scheduling them forward?
As a sole operator to me, Jacob, it seems a bit odd that we're having these meetings at the start of the month when you're also asking us to get all our work completed at the start of the month. It makes scheduling quite difficult.
Yeah, I understand. But like the next meetings we're doing, if it's not at the start of the month, you've blown 3 or 4 weeks before you can make adjustments. So instead of having 3 different meetings across the month like we used to have, you're better off just having that one day. And yes, it's the start of the month. I know that Gareth is, before he gets a hell of a lot of United work and he gets chopped out, hence the reason we've kicked Alexa in. So, you know, we are doing everything on our end to assist to get your work done as fast as possible. You can stay in the field. Alexa can do your work in the background. And it's only national clients. Like, we understand that there will be those big months, that sort of thing, but especially the smaller months, those smaller ones, like, you just go, oh yeah, I'll do that one later. That one decision affects the whole group.
Yeah, I still don't understand why we're having this meeting at the start of the month when it could be held later in the month. Exactly. So anyway, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, okay. Just to explain that quickly, because it won't take long. If we have the business health check at the end of the month at week 3, that gives you 1 week to adjust a month. So we're looking at the previous month and we're saying, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? What has to change? So if you're looking at that at the start of the month, you've got 3 weeks to adjust. If we look at the end of the month, you've got 1 week to adjust. It means you're blowing it out. You want your profit and losses and reports as fast as possible in the new month.
Yep.
Does that, you follow?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, moving forward. So tomorrow we've got an interview with Neil. Neil is currently in New South Wales. Neil is the guy that we are looking to bring as a BDM. He has branch experience. He has project management experience. Construction. I believe he's a sprinkler fitter. It's a bit hard to tell because we are using a recruitment agency, so they sort of doled his resume out that it's so hard to read. He does have dry systems, as in panels, and he's got suppression as well. So he's a pretty cluey guy. He actually wants to move back to Queensland. So we'll just see how we go tomorrow. He's like going through what he's done. He's done a lot of accountability stuff as well. So, we'll just see what happens with that interview. There are a couple other guys, like I mentioned, on that site, that UMan site. If you're looking for people, don't go and run the paper. If you actually want to advance with your business, hire someone that knows what they're doing. Yes, you pay more, but yes, they make more. So if they're not making money, then obviously don't want them. All right, so as we all know, moving on again, as we all know that there was the Royal Commission into franchising again. So Australia is the most heavily, governed franchise system in the world, where you pretty much can't scratch your butt unless you got to go check the report for it. So out of that, out of those 71 items, they're looking at 35. They didn't go into the whole 35. But basically, it's rebates. It's which includes shop fit outs, which really doesn't apply to us. We don't take rebates, so that doesn't apply either. The marketing fund's a big one, so they want that scrutinised a lot more, which is fine. I think we're more than open with the marketing fund, so I don't think we'll have a problem. Out of that, they do want that the professional audit is included in the price until the end of the year, and then you basically decide whether you want to do it or not. For those that are new, we have to get 75% vote that they don't want the audit to avoid that expense. However, it is included in the marketing fund, which I'll have to adjust and change. The good thing about it is that the ACCC with it, it actually falls over multiple government bodies, so it doesn't fall into small business or different entities. There's quite a few that overarch the whole thing. The good news is that they are looking to bend to assist franchisors. So they've realised that basically by screwing the hell out of one of the primary service sectors and retail sectors is not good. So, it'll be pretty flexible what actually comes out of this report. Everybody needs to be able to do business, and if the franchisor can't work, the franchisees don't work. So it has to work both ways. So that we will just have to sit and wait until they're actually ready to go ahead with whatever decisions actually get done. And they're likely not to be until late this year or early next year. So once we have that and we know what's happening, we'll let you know. there might be changes to it as well. So like the last code of conduct got adjusted, we assume that this one will be adjusted as well. So we'll just see what happens. I don't think you'll see a full refresh. I think the code of conduct's been around for 21 years. It'll just see amendments, we believe, rather than a full refresh. All right, moving on. So we've got outstanding invoices from people. I want to close the year out. So any outstanding invoices that are sitting out there, I'll be applying the 9% to as per agreements at the end of the month. So if you have a larger debt and you want to pay it off, I'm happy to pay it off interest-free to catch up. There's only a few people. It's not as if it's to the whole group. For those that don't and they want to kick and scream about it, I'll just add the 9% to it. So I'll go into that a little bit more. As we all know that I've been through a divorce. So divorces aren't fun. Divorces also mean that the last 25 years of work for me has pretty much halved everything I've got. From a personal perspective, my super's wiped. You know, I've lost the rental property, I lost all my shares, I lost my warehouse. I managed to keep the business. So, and eventually managed to keep the house that I live in as well. So I don't want everybody looking at it and saying, well, let's just not pay this bill. I don't know how or why anybody would think it's right not to pay bills that pay other people's wages so that they don't have money, or expect a single dad to fork out on your behalf. So what I want you to do is just keep everything in an equation. Everybody's got their difficulties. So just because we look at it and we go, it's a franchise system, you know, we can rely on the franchisor. It's not. Majority of franchisors are small business owners as well. And what we need to just keep in mind is that when you don't, you know, you hold out from paying or whatever happens and we've got to chase it, you're wasting time that I could be doing using building the system. Or, you know, for accounts, they could be actually doing something else like marketing to build your system. So I don't want to have this discussion again, group-wise, because it's just pretty straightforward. If you're having money troubles, like, you know, let me know. We're here to help you and assist you and make it work. I want to also remind everybody we're closing in on the end of the financial year. For anything that your accountant's writing off, we do also write off from your royalties, because it's not fair that you guys don't get paid and then we expect royalties on it as well. So just keep in mind we do need that from your accountant when they do write whatever off. So that being said too, profit and losses we want to get back fairly quickly. So it's been the last month, can everyone try and have theirs up to date? As next month we're going to be looking at budgeting as a group, and if you don't have your profit and losses from your accountant, your budget won't be correct, and then you're just going to have to do the rework again. So if we can let them know that we want to get our stuff done as fast as possible. We might skip it back a month if the group is struggling to get into their accountant early. It just means you're behind a month in budget. All right, that's pretty much rounds it up for us here. What we'll do is we'll just take a quick break, give me a chance to get a drink, my throat's going dry, and then we'll jump in the monthly meetings. What I want to make sure is that everybody is spending today thinking and working on their business. By the time I took out with Trish going to the forum, you're about to hear some of the stuff that come out of that from us working on the business rather than in it. And everybody should be spending at least one day a month working on your business, looking at what to improve, what can you do better, what can, you know, we provide the customers that works. We're a group, it's not a dictatorship, so I would love people to actually jump forward and throw ideas. The more ideas, the merrier. All right. Leave it at that, and I'll talk to you all very shortly. For the Queensland guys, we'll jump, like, give it 5 minutes and we'll jump straight in. And for everybody else, do you guys want to pull your meeting forward? As soon as I finish with the Queensland team, we'll just quickly type everyone in, or do you want to leave it at the 10:30?
Nah, I'll do it early. Yeah.
Move forward.
I'm
Move
actually
forward.
on site, Jacob, at the moment, so I would appreciate the couple of hours doing some work.
Okay. Is everybody else? Is everyone okay with that? We'll just
That's
stick
fine. Yep, understand that.
Okay. The other thing is the study group this afternoon. We're going to try and drag everything into one day. I've actually got an ATA meeting this afternoon, so we will have to leave it later in the month as it's currently. All right. We'll discuss that more anyway when we go on the meeting. All right. Well, talk to you all soon.
So what time? 8:30, yeah? Or
Yeah.
8:50?
8:20.
We're just
Right.
have a 5-minute break and I'll call back.
Yep.
All right.